Hey, and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at one of the more unique kits I've ever seen Gretsch produce. If you're a fan of Gretsch drums, you're probably familiar with the various series they offer, and most notably, the Broadkaster series. Gretsch originally introduced the Broadkaster drums back in the 1920s, and it was their flagship line of drums. They featured a thin 3-ply shell and a recipe that became known as that great Gretsch sound. They stopped producing these specific drums in the 1950s. They've since reintroduced these drums within the last decade to offer a high-end kit, but still feature that 3-ply shell. They've become a go-to for many drummers, but the Broadkasters we're going to be talking about today fall into neither of these categories. Back in the late 90s, Gretsch was rumored to have a struggle with the chrome plating on some of their lugs and die-cast hoops. This left Gretsch with a stockpile of parts that were not functionally poor, but just needed some sort of finish to make it ready to leave the factory. They came up with an industrial finish that they could apply over the chrome that gave them this gunmetal look. This hardware became a signature look and feature to a series of drums that were rebranded as the Broadkasters. The drums feature a top-of-the-line 6-ply Jasper shell and were comparable to their USA Custom series, except offered in only a limited run of satin stain finishes like ebony, rosewood, burnt orange, and natural. By offering these drums with refinished hardware, limited finishes, and limited options for shell customization, Gretsch was able to sell these drums at a slightly lower price point and treat it like an outlet for the stockpile of parts they had on hand. One of the other unique features of these Broadkaster drums is the signature bass drum logo head they provided with these kits. I don't really see drum companies mess around with this, and especially Gretsch, and the only other time I've seen them do it is with the current era of Broadkaster drums. I've included some brief playing demos of the kit just to give you an idea of the sound, and afterwards I'll share my thoughts on the drums. I've always been fascinated with these drums for the obvious visual reasons. From my experience talking to other drummers, it's very much a love it or hate it feature. The more I did my research, the more I like the story behind these drums. I love how Gretsch was able to take an issue and re-engineer it into something that stands out in a positive way. I've always enjoyed seeing these drums as they've come available on the secondhand markets like Reverb and eBay, and I love how they seem to be a budget price line for a collector's piece. I was able to acquire one of the kits myself, which you've seen throughout this video. The lack of coverage on these drums on the internet inspired me to make this video, so hopefully you enjoyed learning a little bit more about this era of Broadkasters. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subscribing to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I put out new videos each week. Until next time, thanks.